What's going on, guys? LegitMHx here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming and a lot of the stuff we've got on Spider-Man Homecoming and my sort of opinions and how I think of the movie and what I think it's going to be and sort of the plot and sort of a lot of the stuff that we got. And I want to talk about it because this recent trailer, this recent official number 2 trailer did come out for Spider-Man Homecoming. I assume, or I think, a few days ago, so I do want to discuss it, and I was actually really blown away what the from the trailer pretty much, because it was so amazing. But basically, if you guys are fans of Spider-Man PS4, which I presume you are, I can't really make any videos on Spider-Man PS4. I've been trying to think of ideas to make on Spider-Man PS4, but I really want to stay away from speculating, because I've really been doing that, and it's really been tiring, not only for me, but for the fans and subscribers as well, fans of the game as well, because really a lot of the speculating ends up just being false sort of at the end, because we really don't know when we're going to get news. It could be like tomorrow, or it could be at E3, or it could be not even this year. But that's why I'm going to actually just give you guys news on Spider-Man PS4 when we do actually get news. But in the meantime, I'm going to be actually talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, which I am actually really excited for, and I really wanted to make a video on it after this Homecoming number 2 trailer was released. Now, I was going to do a reaction, but then since it's the number 2 trailer, I was thinking it's not going to be that amazing, and I've already done a reaction to the first one, so I'm like, but I should have done a reaction because this was an amazing trailer. I thought the first trailer was probably one of the best MCU trailers that have ever been released, but this trailer does definitely top the first one, and it is so much better, and I am actually so hyped. So I really think this movie is going to be really good. I feel like it's going to beat all the Spider-Man movies in the past, and maybe beat Spider-Man 2, but definitely beat like the Amazing Spider-Man series, and it'll probably be the best Spider-Man movie to ever exist. So with that being out of the way, let's actually just talk about the plot a bit and what we have actually gotten from the actual trailer. So one thing I do want to talk about is Iron Man. I mean, oh my god, how much Iron Man we've seen. I am actually such a big fan of Iron Man actually being in this trailer, and not in this trailer, in this movie, as I'm like one of the biggest Iron Man fans as well, alongside Spider-Man. So to see Spider-Man and Iron Man in one movie, sort of being just them, focusing on those two characters, mainly Spider-Man, but also Iron Man, it's just amazing, and it's like one movie that I've always wanted to see, and it's actually happening. So I'm really excited for Iron Man, and the suit looks gorgeous. I actually love this suit, probably one of my most favorite Iron Man suits yet. And it just looks so nice, but it will be so amazing when I'm actually watching the movie, when we actually do see the actual proper suit in full glory, detail, and everything. But so yeah, Iron Man is definitely a character that I'm really excited for, and maybe you guys are as well. I don't know. My friends are sort of unsure whether they should be happy about Iron Man, but I'm really happy about Iron Man, and I'm so glad that he's in this movie. And one thing is that he's not just a small character that has a cameo. He is like pretty much the plot. As it's sort of weird. It's not that big, but Iron Man is really into the plot, and you will see in the trailer why if you haven't, and definitely will see in the movie as to why as well. Because a lot of Peter Parker's motives within the actual film is influenced by Iron Man and from Tony Stark, which is very cool in a way. I actually really like it, and especially one scene that I will cover on or talk about later on. But Peter Parker's motives do revolve around Tony Stark as well, and it's sort of like he wants to be more than just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which Tony sort of says, like, can't you just be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? He wants to be more than that. He wants to help the world, you know, play a huge part. He wants to be like an Avenger. He wants to be a superhero, sort of what like teenagers, kids want to be. When they look up at the Avengers, you get a view like Peter Parker does when he looks up at Tony Stark and Iron Man and the rest of the Avengers. So this is going to be a really cool movie to watch, because we're going to be able to actually relate a lot with the actual character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, as it's really from a different perspective, and I think it's going to be really different and really nice, and a nice spice to the MCU. So moving on, just a few of the details that we did see within the trailer. We saw the actual spider traces. I believe they look sick. That is in the suit that Tony Stark did give him. It's pretty amazing. I want to see what they do and how they work within the movie. That's going to be really interesting. Another theme that I do see reoccurring within the, well, not theme, but sort of like this reoccurring thing in the movie is this sort of really close friendship with Peter Parker's best friend Ned. It's really cool, and I actually do really like it. I like this character, that this sort of like friendship that they have, that they sort of never really had in the past with like the original Spider-Man or the Amazing Spider-Man series. I really like this one because it's really different, and it's completely different to the old series, and it's going to be, I think, a really good, and it was actually really funny because you see Ned actually wearing the Spider-Man mask, and it looks really funny, and that was a really good scene from the trailer that I really liked as well. And I feel like it's going to be a really funny movie with his friend and stuff in it, because it's like, imagine having your best friend be a superhero, and that's what it is sort of for Ned, so that's going to be really cool to see as well. So moving on from that, we actually do see a lot of the Vulture's backstory. Now, basically, we hadn't really known that much about Vulture and the character that Michael Keaton is playing, but now we do sort of know. Basically, I think this is what the story is. Is basically Michael Keaton's Vulture character, before being Vulture, sort of works as damage control that cleans up after sort of like destruction occurs from like the Avengers, right? So like in New York when Avengers 1 happened, they would the damage control would come in and then clean everything up. And sort of, I think what the plot is that Tony Stark is sort of cleaning up himself, which kind of ruins the damage control's job, and they don't really have a job to do, which means that they don't have money to get, and it's something like that. It probably has more to it, but that's sort of the general idea. And somehow Tony Stark had really affected Vulture, and basically that's what he did. And he said, when the not famous line, but the main line that he said in both the trailers is, "The world's changing and we must change with it," or something like that, right? So that's basically where it is that Vulture gets his motivation from, something that Tony Stark did. I think he's like, I'm not 200% sure, but I think Tony Stark is sort of like making damage control lose their job, something like that. But again, Tony is a major plot point for Vulture and Vulture's motivation, and we do see that in the trailer as well. Again, we also know that Vulture's armor and the wings and stuff and the technology is actually made from the Chitauri weapons and technology that they used in Avengers 1. So basically, Michael Keaton's character is actually like Peter Parker, a dumpster diver, and he used sort of the scraps from the Chitauri and stuff like that to make his armor and his weapons and stuff like that. And you actually do see Peter Parker saying something like their weapons are crazy strong or something like that along the lines. And it is true, because it isn't actual human technology, it is actually Chitauri technology. We also see more of the Avengers Tower, which is actually pretty cool, because it's not just we just see the Avengers Tower, we actually see Spider-Man standing up on top of the tower, just looking out behind or in front of an American flag, which is pretty cool, because like, if you think about it, where would this be placed? I feel like this is going to be placed right at the end of the film, where he has proved himself to be an Avenger, where he's sort of like earned it to be an Avenger, and he's gotten his suit back from Tony or something like that, and he's looking out and he's an Avenger and he's standing on top of the building, something like that. Or it could be at the beginning where he's like, I want to be an Avenger, and he looks out at something and I gotta save the city, something like that. Don't know where it might be placed. Let me know what you guys think. Will it be placed at the end or the beginning? But yeah, it's really interesting how they put the Avengers stuff and how they put the American flag and stuff like that into it, and what it could mean, but we'll see in the movie. And then moving on, we also have the main scene in the trailer, as well as probably what's going to be the main scene in the movie, that actually splits the movie into two pieces, sort of. So basically, it's an epic scene where we already got a glimpse of in the first trailer, where it was the ship scene where the Vulture pretty much blasts a hole in the middle of the ship, and Peter Parker tries his hardest to keep the ship together. He's able to sort of keep it from falling apart, but he does need the help of Iron Man, where Iron Man comes in. He's got sort of his like bot things that fly in and then start pushing the ship as well, and he himself pushes the ship together with an epic scene where you see his helmet and then you see his epic new suit, looks so amazing, and then putting the ship sort of back together, and then it just cuts. It showed quite a bit, but not, I don't think, enough to be a sort of spoiler. But it's really interesting, because what happens after this is that Tony Stark sort of tells him, why were you doing this? This was sort of immature, sort of something like that. What if someone died? He said that sort of. And then basically it ends with Tony Stark saying, give me back the suit. Now, obviously, Tom Holland, but Peter Parker's sort of like, no, I can't give you back the suit, and then he basically says something like, I'm nothing without this suit. And then Tony Stark says one of the greatest quotes he's probably ever said in the MCU, and that is, if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. That's an amazing quote, and I really like that line because it really shows that Tony Stark's not going to be a douche in the film. He's going to actually be helping Peter Parker, and he wants Peter Parker to experience sort of what he experienced, basically in the events of like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Avengers 1, sort of, where basically he's supposed to sort of like in Avengers 1 where you had Captain America sort of question like, you're a big man with a suit of armor, take that away, what are you, right? And then it's like sort of like this thing that Iron Man had experienced, that he's still Iron Man without the Iron Man suit. But he wants Peter Parker to experience that as well, that you are still Spider-Man without this suit, and you need to improve yourself to wear this suit. And basically that's why he gives it, Tony Stark asked him to get it back. And I think this is really cool, dynamic thing that's happening, where it's sort of the experiences that Tony Stark has made, and he's learned from these, and you can clearly see that Tony Stark is a lot more smarter now. He's not like a douche like he was before, but he is a bit more again, he's obviously going to be ego, he's still going to be pretty arrogant, but he's fun, and he has learned a lot. And I really like how he's being sort of a mentor to Peter Parker, and not really being sort of like a douche mentor that it might have seemed like he might have been from watching the first trailer. So I really like this sort of relationship that's happening, and I think it's actually going to be really, really good. And then moving on, right after this, the trailer shows a huge epic battle with Spider-Man and the Vulture, and basically Peter Parker is actually wearing his original suit that he made himself to fight the Vulture. Why he's fighting the Vulture? Not 100% sure. I think there's probably a proper motive behind it. Can't really say exactly why he's doing it yet, but it's probably something important. Who knows? But yeah, basically, Vulture does know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, so it will be interesting to see that. But what was cool is that we actually saw in the actual trailer that Spider-Man was fighting Vulture in 3 different locations. Actually maybe 4, but at the end it was 3 different locations. First one was obviously the ship. The second one was in like a warehouse area. The third one was on the plane, and the fourth one was on the beach, I think after the plane had crashed because there's fire everywhere. So there's quite a few locations where they do fight, so there's going to be quite a bit of epic fight scenes within this movie, and I'm pretty hyped for that. That's going to be pretty epic. And the thing was that you saw majority of the time Vulture dominating Peter Parker and Spider-Man, so I have no clue how Spider-Man's actually going to beat him. You see at the end where Peter's got his mask off and he's got like the rest of his suit on, but then Vulture's just with one of his wings just picking up Peter Parker from his like shirt at the back, picking him up, and he's like just like sort of like knocked out sort of. And that's going to be interesting what happens after that scene. I'm pretty excited, so that's going to be really epic. So wrapping that up, that's pretty much the trailer, guys. It was an amazing trailer. I really liked it. It's probably one of the best MCU trailers that have ever been released, in my opinion, but I don't know, it's actually pretty good. I think the movie's going to be really good, definitely going to beat most of the Spider-Man films, and might beat Spider-Man 2. But some people have been saying that it possibly showed a bit too much of the movie. I'm not sure, I think it's fine. They didn't show that much. It showed like enough. They showed enough. If they showed a bit more, it would have been maybe a bit too much. What they showed was perfectly fine. Maybe they could have skipped the part where Tony said if you shouldn't have it. I mean, what did he say? He said if you're nothing without this suit, you shouldn't have it. Maybe it's just like, give me back the suit, and it's like, wait, what happened? Like what's gonna happen after that? Maybe cut a bit of the fight scenes down, but I think it's fine. I mean, to be honest, I think there's still gonna be heaps more in the movie. It did not spoil it. We have no idea where the movie is gonna go. We just know that a few of the key events that might happen. So that's pretty much it for the trailer, guys. I do want to talk about a bit about Spider-Man in general and the MCU as well. Basically, another thing that did happen is that there has been talk regarding the contract that Marvel, Disney, and Sony have with Spider-Man, and that they pretty much have given the rights to Marvel to use Spider-Man in the MCU. But this contract, I believe, does run out after the second or the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming 2 in 2019. So it might be, if this contract does not get renewed, that means that Spider-Man might not be in the MCU anymore. I'm not sure about that. To be honest, I really do think that they're going to renew it. I can't see them not renewing it. Apparently, if Sony is to not renew it and they do create a new Spider-Man character, they're gonna have to do the origin story again. I don't think they're gonna be able to use Tom Holland as Peter Parker and use this storyline. It's gonna be complicated. I don't think they're gonna not renew it, but we'll see. That's just something to think about. Who cares right now? Everyone's excited for Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man in Avengers Infinity War, then it's Spider-Man Homecoming 2. So it shouldn't be that much of a concern right now, but we'll maybe not see Spider-Man in the MCU after 2019. Who knows? But again, there's also, I want to talk about the Venom movie. It's actually, Sony have said that it's going to be an R-rated movie, which is going to be really, really cool to see because it's going to have horror elements in it. And Sony has also said that it's going to be their entry to make more R-rated superhero films. So that's also very interesting. They're sort of doing what Fox did with Deadpool and Logan. That's going to be interesting. Which of the two companies are going to do it better? Probably Fox is going to still make it better. I mean, Deadpool was amazing. Logan was just beyond. So I don't know if Venom's going to be able to compare even to those two movies. Who knows? But maybe it might be good. I can't say. And to wrap it up, we also have the rest of the MCU unfolding with pretty much us in the thick of the Phase 3 in the MCU right now, with Doctor Strange just finishing in November, and now us moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, then next year Black Panther, and finally the amazing Avengers Infinity Wars. That's going to be amazing. I might make some videos on Guardians of the Galaxy after I've watched it, maybe a review or something like that, and maybe give my opinions, because it is actually an amazing time right now to be a Marvel fan because of MCU and where it is right now in Phase 3, leading up to the amazing Avengers Infinity Wars. But this video has been going on for a while now. It's been reaching 17 minutes, so without wasting any more of your guys' time, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and are excited for Spider-Man Homecoming as I am. The Spider-Man Homecoming 2 trailer was amazing. Really, really liked it. Hope you guys did like it as well. Leave your comments down below. If you guys think it showed too much, leave it down below. If you guys think it didn't show enough, I don't think anyone thinks that, but just leave your comments down below. Also, Spider-Man PS4, I'm sorry about not making any videos. There's really nothing to make it on. I apologize for that. But anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you guys did. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. And this was once again LegitMHx signing out.